From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lena Lai.
And I'm Will Ewick. We begin with some serious winter weather going on now. Cuyahoga and Summit counties under a winter storm warning. We have our chief meteorologist, Betsy Kling, in tonight. Betsy, what are you seeing right now?
Well, a lot of places are just beginning to get the snow. We're really expecting conditions to go downhill through the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning. This is a look around town. Various cameras downtown Westlake, Madison, Medina, Akron, and Dover. All of us now seeing snow. Some places at times have been reporting some mixing going on with a little sleet. There are so many little details in this forecast that will have very big impacts on how much snow is coming down. But generally speaking, areas where this winter weather advisory is going on, the magic number is 4 inches. I think we could be seeing a little bit more than that for Lorain, Medina, Wayne, and Holmes counties. Ashland and Richland counties also in that advisory. The rest of the area along and east of I-77 under a winter storm warning. These are the technicalities. We are not focused on technicalities. We are not focused on numbers. We are focused on impacts, because this storm system is going to come in and it is going to hit hard tonight. A lot of times these will come in and they're, over a day or two. This is literally within 12 to 18 hours. All of this snow is going to fall, and you can see it's already coming down. Snow mode is on. Getting some pretty decent snow showing up now along areas of 271 back into the 71 corridor. Farther south, getting some breaks, but we're probably also getting a little drizzle in there. Maybe that mixing going on with some sleet. This is Brunswick on I-71. We already see some accumulation there in the berm, the grassy surfaces. Farther east then into the Canton area, if this will catch up with me, we do have some snow that's been coming down, and that snow will continue to be seen across the area. We'll skip that and we'll keep on moving because we got plenty to talk about. We're already starting to see some slowdowns on the roads, and of course this is probably visibility related. We're also probably getting some slick spots starting to develop on bridges and overpass. Remember, they're going to freeze first, and when you put that little bit of liquid on there, it makes things difficult. So we are starting to see some of these slowdowns. We're going to keep an eye on the roads tonight. I know overnight, really, it's not a huge deal as far as traffic goes, and even tomorrow morning with the holiday, but a lot of times that's how people relate the severity of the storm, and it does look like it's going to be severe. Absolutely incredible, and we'll get into more of these details coming up, but we have all of this to go tonight, folks, and that's where really things get into the meat of it. So in the hour-by-hour forecast, snow spreads over the area tonight. We will see an uptick in snow rates and snow coverage. Snow rates are everything in this, and as that heavy snow moves in, it's going to stay put. We're on the pivot point for heavy snow, so it just stays with us. Tomorrow morning we will see the snow moving out after 7 a.m. By noon we'll be on the back side of this and starting to clean up, but we've got some very impressive snow that could be coming down. Areas west not getting near as much, and we're giving you ranges because there are so many changes still to come with this storm system. One of the big wild cards is, will we have some sleet mixing in areas farther south? That will cut down on these snow totals, but we are still looking at a solid 6 to 12 inches of snow in a good chunk of the area. It's going to have impacts. Very rough travel late tonight, early tomorrow morning. We could even get some power outages with sagging limbs. High wind tomorrow, blowing and gusting, and that's going to mean drifting snow. And as far as the cold, we've been through worse. We'll detail more about this storm. We'll take you through tonight, through tomorrow morning. Peyton will have a look at the rest of your forecast, too, coming up in just a little bit.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, Betsy. So let's take you out in it. Close to 750 ODOT crews are out on the streets tonight trying to keep us all safe. That is according to a tweet ODOT just sent out. Lydia Spara joins us now live from Akron, where the snow is coming down. Hi, Lydia.
Hi, Lena, and Betsy's right. It is coming down. You can see behind me, we're at Lock 3. That's where the ice rink is. They just closed down right now, but you can see the accumulation. Now, they've been warning us that this storm has been coming, and make no mistake, it really is. So ODOT has been on the road since Friday night, putting out some ice and other things to keep the roads from freezing over. Also, they tell me they have their crews working around the clock to make sure everybody stays safe. This is the most important part. As Betsy said, the snow is going to continue. Your morning commute is going to be horrible.
Our goal is always to have the roads back up to speed 2 hours after the snow event ends. Now, what that means is don't expect the roads to be in perfect condition on Sunday going into Monday, and definitely for that Monday morning commute.
This is the other thing you have to really remind yourself of. This happened to be at my house because we had a little bit of rain, a little bit of sleet. My driveway is a sheet of ice. So underneath this snow, you're going to have some black ice. So you have to really be careful with that. Also here in Akron, they do have a snow removal plan. So there's a ban of cars starting at 8 o'clock tonight. So make sure you get your car out of the way because otherwise the snow plows aren't going to come. Lena, this is, I don't even want to make fun of this because this is the scary part for me. My parents live in Youngstown, and there's predictions for Youngstown because it's going east, is able to get 10 to 15 inches. And they have not seen it like that in years. And I know you haven't seen it like that in years. So, folks, we really need to be careful with this one. Back to you.
And on top of all of that, our winter weather driving skills are a little bit stale as of late.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Lydia. We'll see you again at 11.
And something else to keep an eye on is the weight of the snow on trees. Betsy mentioned a little bit ago, if accumulations get high enough, the weight on tree limbs can cause branches to snap and break, sometimes right onto power lines. As good practice, be leery of where you park your car if it's anywhere near trees during some severe winter weather. And remember, you can always get the latest weather updates, including live radar, on our WKYC app. Free to download for both iPhone and Android. You can also send us your pictures and video. Use the hashtag 3weather.
Tomorrow is going to be a big day for getting out and enjoying the snow, especially since most schools are closed for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. We have posted some of the top locations for sledding on our website, WKYC.com. Kane Park Hill in Cleveland Heights, the Hinckley Township Sledding Hill, and Virginia Kendall Park in Peninsula top the list. Tonight, an update on that dramatic hostage situation in Texas, where a gunman held 4 people, including a rabbi, captive for 10 hours.
What Matters Most is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
A 44-year-old British man has been identified as the person who took 4 people hostage for 10 hours at a Texas synagogue. It happened yesterday near Fort Worth during a live stream of the religious services. Police say Malik Faisal Akram caused the intense standoff, demanding the release of a Pakistani neuroscientist who was convicted of trying to kill U.S. Army officers in Afghanistan. After 10 hours, Akram was killed after an FBI rescue team stormed the building and safely rescued the hostages. President Joe Biden called the hostage taking an act of terror.
I also told him that I wanted to make sure we got the word out to synagogues and places of worship that we're not going to tolerate this, that we have this capacity to deal with assaults.
The FBI released a statement today saying that agents do not believe that anyone else was involved in the incident. An investigation is underway tonight after a jail inmate was found unresponsive at the Cuyahoga County Jail and later died. 30-year-old Adam Weekly was found around 6:40 yesterday. He was given urgent medical treatment, but then he died after being taken to Metro Health Medical Center. He was serving time before his court date on charges including aggravated burglary. No word yet what caused his death.
More than 350 girls volleyball teams are in town tonight for the Junior Volleyball Association's Rock and Rumble event. The teams from all over the country were at Huntington's Convention Center downtown this weekend, with the tournament expected to bring about 7,000 people to the area and more than $3 million to Northeast Ohio. And tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, with several events happening across the region in his honor. Today, Tri-C hosted this virtual ceremony filled with several musical performances, scholarship presentations, and student speeches honoring the civil rights leader. We have a link on our website, WKYC.com, with the list of all the events going on tomorrow.
Well, students from an elementary school in California covered up graffiti with some uplifting messages in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. After learning about the civil rights leader's legacy, they decided they wanted to do their part to celebrate his life. So they made posters and hung them up on the graffiti plastered white fence across from their school to bring hope to their community. Still to come, Betsy and Peyton are both busy over there monitoring the snow coming our way. Tag team weather both coming up next. But first, a live look outside on this Sunday evening. Yeah, as this winter storm moves in, you know we have you covered. The full forecast after the break. Well, with this major winter storm, we have Betsy, we have Peyton. Truth be told, we even have Matt Wentz lurking around in the background. We got you covered, right?
Guys, I told my daughter that we could make snow angels tomorrow. I usually take the low-hanging fruit bets. I feel like no matter how much we can get, we can at least do that, right?
Oh, that's a good way to put it. And we were talking earlier, Peyton and Matt and I, about how great this snow is going to be for packing and also for sledding. So now it's just a matter of how much. And that's where we start to get into this forecast picture. I always like these notes to myself because this is kind of what I had on my scratch pad that, you know, this is where I can relate to you exactly what I'm thinking. Crazy snow rates. I don't get to write that very often, quite honestly. We're talking 1 inch to 2 inch per hour snow rates at times tonight for some of the area. That will add up very quickly. We're already getting accumulation reports from farther south. The other part of that is the road crews. They're not going to be able to keep up with this snow as we get into the overnight hours tonight. We've already seen that there are some slowdowns on some of the roads too. Now, as far as that mix, the sleet mix is most possible farther to the south. We're thinking Canton, Dover, New Philadelphia, Carrollton, and that will cut down on snow totals. If that comes farther north, maybe even into Akron, we will cut down the snow totals there too. There is so much that is up in the air and we're trying to fine tune everything. But one thing we do know is that the temperatures are warm enough. We are expecting this to be a very heavy snow, meaning the weight of the snow. That means it will be hard to shovel. Take your time tomorrow as you're digging out. Great for packing for snowballs and for snowmen and women, but it's bad for power lines potentially because of droopy tree lines. And the wind blowing and drifting snow is going to be a problem on Monday, and just because we can, a little bit of lake effect snow on the backside. So winter storm warnings posted for I-77 in points east, points west. We've got that winter weather advisory. We're not going to dwell on these technicalities. All of us will have impacts from this storm, and it is absolutely impressive. You can see that we are starting to see a real good moisture feed coming in off the Atlantic. That is feeding into this area. This is a very important area for our forecast. We're going to take a look at it on the water vapor, and that is because the real energy is coming up from the south. And what we have here is something known as a trowel, okay? So basically, think of lifting in the atmosphere. We always talk about this with tornadoes and with hurricanes. Lifting is energy in the atmosphere. This is like a supercharged snow band, and this thing is going to rotate across northern Ohio as we go through the night tonight. As it comes up and pivots through, that's what we are banking on for these heavy snow rates, and we are starting to already see some pretty impressive snow rates. They have more sleet, more freezing rain and mix farther south, but the trowel is there. It's on radar, and now we're just waiting on it. That said, we are already getting the snow, and it is already sticking. It is already starting to add up, and this hour-by-hour forecast does have this snow rotating across the area tonight. There's that trowel, that heavy snow band, and it kind of stays put as the storm starts to rotate out. That too will be shifting out. After 7, 8 a.m., we should see improving conditions in Cleveland, and after noon tomorrow, we will see drastically improving conditions. But our snow totals are completely dependent upon, number one, that trowel. Any little variation in the location of that thing will blow up our snow totals. I'm going to be completely honest with you. We are throwing darts at this point. And as you go farther to the west, you get farther away, there's less snow. But where you see these big numbers, that's all dependent upon that big surge of that snow coming in. If we get some sleet coming in, that's going to cut down on those totals. And that's why we put that down to the south, because that's where that warm air is really going to start to have its impacts. So again, very difficult road travel late tonight, early tomorrow. I think we will have some snow emergencies in many counties across Northeast Ohio tomorrow. Power outages are a possibility. The high wind means blowing and drifting snow. And by the way, the cold, we don't have too much to worry about because we've had it colder than that, haven't we, Peyton?
Oh yeah, we sure have. And speaking of cold, even if you care about tomorrow's temperatures, we're still going to be right around 30 degrees. And once again, Mother Nature might win here temporarily, but we are getting through this together. But as we head through the middle of the week, that's when temperatures go up again. We're closer to 40, but we're going to dive down together once again. So yes, snow in the short term, but we've got some colder air ahead. By Thursday, we are going to be back in the upper teens. So in your Union Home Mortgage extended forecast here, things go up and then we tumble once again. So yes, we are getting through this together. This is the big thing here. We could see once again some lake effect on the backside of what's happening tomorrow, but there are some sunshine-filled days ahead. We just have to get through that. It's going to happen at the end of the work week here, though. Guys.
Peyton, Betsy, if you guys are throwing darts, I just got to remind everyone that nobody throws darts like you two.
Oh, no one.
Championship dart throwers. Thank you very much. Well, straight ahead, the NFL playoffs in full swing, but even if the Browns are on the sidelines, plenty of teams to root against. Maybe the Steelers, KC tonight. Nick Camino gets us caught up next in sports.
The Sports Report is sponsored by the people-pleasing people at Sarah Auto Park in Akron.
Great to welcome you back. Playoff football. Gotta love it. Obviously, we wish the Browns were there. Pair of games yesterday, trio of games today. Don't forget the Super Bowl right here on NBC, February 13th. We can't wait for that. All right, today, a guy that is familiar with Super Bowls, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers hosting the Eagles. Tom Brady in search of his 35th career playoff win, up 17-0 over the Eagles. How many times have we seen this? Brady to Gronk, that's 6 more points. Brady's next pass is also a touchdown to Mike Evans. Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, they are moving on. What else is new? They rock Philly 31-15 in a game that really wasn't even as close as that final score. All right, don't forget, tonight, right here on NBC, it's more playoff football between the Steelers and the Chiefs in KC. Still can't believe Pittsburgh made the postseason. The last time these two teams met a few weeks ago, it was all Chiefs in that game, 36-10. Kickoff tonight is set for 8:15. All right, Cavaliers are finally back home. They went 5-1 out on the West Coast, a 6-game trip. I talked about it last night. I don't think they went 5-1 when LeBron was here out on the West Coast. 6 cities, 6 games, 9 days. Cavs are now 26-18 on the season. One of the big surprises in the NBA, making the playoffs, certainly realistic, right? And the Cavs will be back in action tomorrow. Now, speaking of tomorrow, the Cavs host the Nets tomorrow. That's afternoon basketball on MLK Day, a 3 o'clock tip-off. Don't expect to see Nets star Kevin Durant, though. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. He suffered an MCL sprain in his left knee on Saturday night. So here's a look at the upcoming docket for JB Bickerstaff's squad. The Nets tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Wednesday, they'll be in Chicago to battle the Bulls. And then Saturday, back home to face the Thunder. All right, before you know it, we will be filling out brackets, right, for March Madness. And I think it's safe to say that one team that will be there, Chris Holtmann and the Ohio State Buckeyes, they are playing tremendous basketball. They are ready to roll in Columbus, 16th in the country. Ohio State hosting Penn State. Second half, that's Eugene Brown with the drive on the baseline, slams it home. The Bucks go up 10. Only 5 minutes to play in the game. Penn State within 3, but E.J. Liddell, he buries the triple. He had 19 in the game, and Ohio State a winner, 61-56. They are now 5-2 in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten is one of the best conferences in college basketball right now. All right, don't forget, tonight, following Sunday Night Football between the Chiefs and the Steelers, and what's next, we have another fun edition of Sports Tonight. We'll talk Cavs with Chris Fedor, NFL playoffs, and Jim Donovan. He will have a close look at Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. Cannot wait for Sports Tonight. I hope we go on earlier than 3 in the morning like we did last week.
Oh, come
Nikki,
on.
I'm sorry.
It was
I'm
1 a.m.
going to have to maybe pull your Cleveland card.
Okay.
Before you went on, you said, who do you root for this? Kansas City or Pittsburgh?
I did
How
ask
do you
that.
not root against Pittsburgh every time?
There is a part of me that's a little bit upset about being knocked out of the playoffs by Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs last year, and I think they are the bigger obstacle than the Steelers right now for the Browns to get to a Super Bowl.
That obstacle, though, is next year.
There's always next
Lena
year,
always
right?
says live in the moment.
We know that. Live in the moment.
Yeah, that's
Fine.
my quote.
I just beg people to watch, and I think they will. It'll be a great game tonight.
Nick, thank you very much. We'll
I
see
don't
you
know.
again after the game in which you'll be rooting for Pittsburgh and we'll be rooting for Kansas City.
There you go. Thanks so much for joining us. NBC Nightly News is next. Don't forget, work team coverage continues of our winter storm after the game tonight. And there you go.